I am Hatonn. I greet you, my friends, in the love and the light of our infinite Creator. It is a very great privilege once more. It is always a privilege. Why do I say it's a privilege, my friends? My friends, service is always a privilege. This is our service to you, those of you who walk in service on your planet. We are limited in contacting you, and only certain techniques can be used at this time. These techniques must always be, shall I say, rejected. That is, an individual does not have to accept our contact. Even the channel does not have to accept our contact. Information in your language is made available for you to ponder. It is then an individual's decision as to whether to use the information or to reject it and select other information, or to select no information at all. Many of your peoples do not select information. They simply move their minds in a way that has been described for those of their immediate society. These people are in a state of mind that has not yet awakened to seeking. Many of them are on the verge of seeking. However, they may stay in that condition or state for their entire incarnation. Many are awakened to seeking by one religious group or another. Many are awakened to seeking in a personal experience. However, my friends, it is the individual seeking that is important, not the information, not the religious group, or not the particular experience that creates the conditions. The seeking itself, my friends, is the important factor. For without the seeking, there is no real growth in spirit. Seeking must come first, my friends. Seeking must come in order to make the information be made available for use. Without the seeking, the information is of no value. It is truly written, "Seek, and ye shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened unto you." This is the tried and true method of development for the individual who has made the transition from the stagnant or sleeping awareness to an awake or seeking awareness. It is only when the individual has made the decision to seek on his or her own, to look for that which will create its own evolution in the spirit. It is only at this time that it is possible to make useful information available to him or her. My friends, you can take every esoteric or metaphysical book upon your planet today and make them available to an individual who is not seeking, and it will be of no effect. The individual first must choose to seek. Then you may provide him or her with information. It is necessary to seek if one is to find. It is necessary to seek that part of the communication that we give you, or make use of it in your own way, just as it is necessary to seek that part of the information hidden in texts or volumes available to you of your religious material, so that you can interpret it in your own way and decide which parts are meaningful and which parts are, shall we say, simply a matrix of varying information. We would suggest, when in approaching portions of your population, what you might call a missionary effort, that you do so in a manner so as to keep uppermost the essence of the technique I have just outlined. It is not possible to force feed, shall I say, entities information. It is only possible to tantalize, shall I say, those who have reached that position in thought and understanding. Seeking is required if one is to be tantalized by what you might call the advertising that you, as a holder of information, bring forth. Generally speaking, my friends, when you approach a fellow man or woman to give to him or her that which you know to be true, It will be necessary for you, first, to excite his or her interest with tidbits or with advertising. If it is not possible to excite her interest, it is not possible to give him information. If the seeking process is not initiated within, it would be an infringement upon the free will of the individual approached to go further and to indicate the possibility of information such as we provide you. Seek those who seek, and then carefully and slowly develop their interest. This will be not only a service to them, but a service to yourself. Any more stringent approach is not a service to any. Now, many of your religious organizations upon the surface of your planets go forth with great zeal, impressing a missionary type of information about their particular discipline upon all those who will listen. This, my friends, is perfectly all right. It, however, does not produce the desired result. The desired result is always the same, my friends. The result is to produce the growth and spiritual understanding. Spiritual is a word which I use for lack of a more suitable word. It would perhaps be better to eliminate the word altogether and say that the desired result would be to produce an increase in understanding. Simple understanding, my friends. Yes, my friends, this is the objective of any spiritually based organization, to produce an increase in understanding. Understanding is accomplished in the following manner. Understanding is accomplished by the seeker seeking. Understanding is accomplished in such a way so that any question can be answered truthfully. At a certain level of awareness, it is possible to know which answers are truthful, which answers are not truthful. These answers change with changing awareness. What is truthful at one stage of awareness is no longer truthful at the next. Each question has more than one answer. The truthfulness of the answer is dependent upon the awareness of the entity producing the answer. Seeking then produces a state of awareness that enables the individual to answer truthfully. More seeking may produce answers that disagree with answers given previously. This is because of the refinement or expanding of awareness. This is the nature of seeking and growth in understanding. This seems to be a paradox, my friends. This will be the nature of your growth. The point that I am making is that the information provided is always truthful. It is always false. My friends, this could be said to be true of everything that you know. This statement, of course, is also false. All men speaking are correct in all concepts that they hold. If they think that they are truthful, then they are truthful. And there is no reason to think they are false. And that is so as long as the individual is sincere. He or she can speak nothing but the truth. All metaphysical systems, all religions, all of the dogma, all of these things, my friends, are correct and true. To refute the validity of any concept is an indication of lack of awareness of the mechanics of this creation. In reality, to seek to convert individuals from one technique of thinking to another is perfectly all right. To seek to forcefully convert an individual from one way of thinking to another is also perfectly all right. However, from the point of view of this entity, it is not wise. To generalize what I am saying, what has been said, all things are true. Any philosophical orientation is correct. Any missionary attempt is okay. In other words, my friends, anything goes. There is no correct solution in your illusion. All solutions are correct. There is no absolute system of coordinates in your illusion. They are all variable. The mechanics of growth, of understanding, are not as important as the seeking that produces the growth. Whether that seeking leads the individual down one path or another, to produce that growth is relatively unimportant. For this reason, my friends, it is relatively unimportant as to whether you do or do not do missionary work. It is relatively unimportant as to whether infringement upon the will of another through missionary work is in evidence or not. If this is done, it quite possibly produces seeking. The seeking may be in a direction away from the missionary, but the catalyst has been added. Your world is a big melting pot of catalysts. Catalyst is intellectual. Catalyst is emotional. Catalyst is also physical. It comes in many forms. Suitability of the form is dependent upon the individual being acted upon. Catalyst that often affects one individual does not affect another, depending on the state of awareness of that individual in the particular incarnation and in its total state of awareness, which is not a function of a particular incarnation. Each individual needs a different type of catalyst. During his or her span upon the surface of this planet, she or he comes in contact with innumerable different catalytic actions, which produce emotional, intellectual, or physical responses. There is no single set of catalysts that works for everyone. There is no single philosophy that works, just as there is no single educational course that everyone can take, understand, and apply at the same time. To undergo and experience catalysts, you may be active in producing that catalyst, and have been. Some entities produce more than others. No entity is wrong for producing this catalyst. This is the function, the operation of the physical plane. Each entity plays his or her part in the grand play upon your planet. Each, shall I say, does his or her thing, and the thing produces a wave of activity, which then adds to the great symphony of developmental forces acting at this time in your illusion. To embrace any specific set of developmental forces is perfectly all right, but shows that the individual has not fully understood the essence of these forces. There are very few entities on your planet at this time who have fully become aware of the essence of the developmental forces creating the growth of understanding that is the function of your planet. Seeking, my friends, is the nature of life. Seeking is the major awareness. For you see, seeking is all that there is. Seeking occurs in the physical plane when the individual becomes aware of themselves and of one's nature. It is normal at this point for the individual to seek an answer to the riddle of life. Through this seeking, he or she then begins to know oneself. The seeking then must turn inward and analyze each thought and the foundation for that thought, each action and the foundation for that action, and each response the individual gives for an exterior catalytic action. Through the process of seeking self-knowledge, the individual is able to create a self that is more aware of the true nature of the creation in which one finds oneself. This is the process of growth on your physical plane. There are other processes, both occurring on your physical plane and at other realities, shall we say. However, the process of which I am speaking is the elementary process upon your plane and is of the greatest importance. And one last note before we leave. We ask that you become more and more able to take yourself with the seriousness necessary to observe yourself, to learn from yourself, from all of to think. For as you find yourself, you will also find the divine creator. There is no possibility of any miracle of understanding unless you are prepared for this miracle by the thankless task of sorting out yourself. Furthermore, enlightenment will pass from you as does the bloom from the wildflower if you have not the courage to share it. We seek to serve, as also do you. May we join together on the journey to love. The journey is love, my friends. Therefore, we leave you in that love and in the light of the one who is all. We are those of Hatonn. Adone, my friends, Adone Vasu.